Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. See Sparky, Fifer. Charlie using other side of the glass. If you love Wendy's classic chocolate vanilla frosty flavors, there's some big news. They're all new Frosty Swirls and now Frosty Fusions. Same creamy treat that you've always loved, now with a flavor refresh. So what are these new flavors? All right, well, we got the Frosty Swirls. We all know about those, right? We got chocolate, we got caramel, and we got strawberry. Always ask for the extra swirl. It costs you nothing, and they'll put a little something extra in there for you. Now, they have the Frosty Fusions as well. So now you have the Oreo brownie. I said chocolate, it's brownie batter. So brownie batter with Oreo, chunks of Oreo in it. Delicious. You can have the chocolate or the vanilla frosty base. You have caramel crunch, which is like pieces of toffee with the caramel swirl and the chocolate or vanilla base. And then you have Pop-Tart strawberry. So like, you know those little mini Pop-Tarts they sell in like bags that you can snack on? It's like pieces of that in the strawberry swirl frosty with, again, your chocolate or vanilla base. All kinds of options. My favorite, Oreo brownie. So clock in for sweet treat time with Wendy's all new frosty flavors. A refresh on a classic. It's got to be Wendy's. And as I said before, that brownie batter with the Oreos and chocolate, if you love chocolate, is a home run at the end of the day. Coming up in the next hour, we'll get into Packers training camp coming up at 3 o'clock here. Tim Dillard will talk to more about the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, plays like this here, man. Come on.
To third. Siegler. Got to get rid of it. Black with a scoop. Yes! Nice play by Siegler. Nice play by Black. And we'll see if they're going to challenge this one from Seattle. They will not. They're looking for another infield single in this series, but not to be. Siegler gets him.
That was an unbelievable throw. Unbelievable throw. So again, a guy that nobody thought we'd be talking about during the season. This dude hasn't played a majority of the season and has a huge impact with his bat upon coming back.
Perkins, left center, well hit. It is back, and it is off the top of the fence. 2 runs will score. Perkins drives in a pair. It's 2-0 Milwaukee. Getting all over Castillo in the second inning.
He's a good pitcher, y'all. Luis Castillo is a damn good pitcher. So you had Siegler with a moment, Perkins with a moment. This dude who, again, we start talking about guys you don't want to trade. I'd be fine trading Tyler Black. But he has looked good in his first couple games.
Black ground ball left side under the glove of Crawford. That'll score Churio. 6-2 Brewers on the second hit of the day for Tyler Black.
Now Brewers 10 hits all on fastball.
I just said that Crawford play, that was an error. Like that dude, that was as bad as you see that in youth baseball. It looked like he wasn't even trying.
He should probably had like 3 errors yesterday, if we're being honest.
Easily.
So a lot of those highlights you hear, through Crawford,
yes.
Past Crawford. They're picking on Crawford.
Right.
You know?
That's exactly what it was. Highlights courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network. Brewers get the win. Day off today. Back at it tomorrow as they get ready to take on the Marlins. Of course, the big home run derby after the game. All of that will be on FanDuel Sports Network, so you can watch that. I already have mine set. Mine's already set, ready to go, recorded. And we'll see how that plays out. All right, coming up next, we'll give you the latest from Packers training camp from earlier today here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
All right, here we go. Hour number 2, Tim Dellert, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst, will join us coming up here at 3:20. Looking forward to having him on. 3:40, Charlie's Sounds of the Day. For those of you that are wrestling fans and so forth, with the passing of Hulk Hogan, we will have Dave Hero on from Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. He'll join us coming up at 4:40, and we can kind of go over the life and times of the Hulkster. Definitely not something we do on this show as far as talk wrestling. That is more of a Mitch Nellis and Andy Herman thing and crosstalk that they do. But this dude is, they're completely different, right? You agree with this?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I don't know too many wrestlers. He's one of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
right. Dude, I used to have like a Hulk Hogan, I think it was like a sweatsuit when I was like, I don't know how old I was, 6, 7, 8 years old, whatever the case was. A little Hulkster Hulk Hogan sweatsuit. Used to watch wrestling every Saturday morning, WWF wrestling. We get home from bowling and then watch wrestling right away. Yeah, that was the thing back in the day. So anyway, we'll talk to Dave here about all of that coming up at around 4:40. And talk about Packers training camp, day number 2. We're going to do this every day, so just buckle in, right? We'll hear from Matt LaFleur every day on this show. Same thing that we kind of did last year. Same thing we're going to kind of do this year for a multitude of reasons. Number one, not everybody lives on social media like we do, right? I live on social media. Kay will tell you I live on social media. Charlie will tell you I live on social media. So I'm kind of always watching this nonstop. But the rest of you all have lives. And are working, and can't be on your phone all the time and can't be doing all this other stuff. So when we do this stuff here on this show, I try to help out everybody that's maybe not addicted to their phone like I tend to be, that annoys everybody in my life. So guys that didn't practice today, Quay Walker, who I believe passed his physical, but still didn't practice. So Quay Walker, Christian Watson, Colin Oliver, that was the pass rush specialist they drafted in the 5th round. Amar Johnson, the running back. John Williams, that seems pretty serious, the back injury on the offensive lineman. And still waiting on Elton Jenkins. Do you think it really is a back issue of why he's not practicing? Or do you think it has something more to do with the contract? Because Goody yesterday played it off like, it's just his back. I don't think it has anything to do with the contract.
No, it is everything to do with the contract. I think his back is probably fine. I think back is the easiest way for any team to designate somebody that has some other issue that's not actually an injury.
Can't take an X-ray on a back spasm. Not going to find a back spasm on an X-ray or an MRI. Mm-mm. Not going to happen. Oh, I woke up. My back's killing me. Right?
Can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything about it. That's absolutely right. And that is something to watch and monitor kind of going forward here. We use Andy Herman to follow along with because he's our teammate. Pack-A-Day Radio Show, weekday mornings from 8 to 9 here on The Fan. And don't forget, you can watch Andy Herman on YouTube, or the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis on YouTube from 9 to 11 every day, brought to you by Verizon. This show from 2 to 5, brought to you by Wendy's. All right there on YouTube. All you have to do is look for @TheFanMilwaukee. @TheFanMilwaukee. Like, subscribe, check out all the shorts, all the videos that we do every day, updating new things. And again, you can chat with us right there on YouTube if you want to watch, or you can stream us live on the Odyssey app. AUDACY. All right, some of the things to kind of look at here as far as what's going on. This is one I want to get Charlie's thoughts on. Jordan Love to Reed to open practice off play action, complete for a nice gain, but McKinney would have had him lit up in an actual game. I have seen people that have been all over Jordan Love for essentially saying he is going to get his receivers killed because of the way he leads them into oncoming defenders in game situations, that he is going to cost somebody big time. Not that they put all of Romeo Doubs' concussions on him, but there is something to that where some guys, I think Cutler was one of them, that just let their receivers get hung out to dry and get absolutely drilled. And there are other quarterbacks that are a little bit more aware of that and don't put those receivers in those situations.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, and that is a hospital ball. That's what they like to call
hospital
that.
ball.
Hospital ball.
That's right.
So if you lead your guys into that spot, that kind of danger zone, I think is the phrase we were actually talking about it. And when we looked at it a couple weeks ago, we saw that the Packers and Jordan Love were one of the worst teams in that danger zone. They were throwing a lot to the numbers, a lot to the outside. I think this is a great example of why they aren't as aggressive in the danger zone, because Jordan Love, I think, does have a tendency to lead his players into that situation. I think any quarterback is going to have a higher tendency of leading their wide receivers into danger in those situations, and that's why some teams are a little bit more skeptical of throwing into that area of the field.
Yes, and that's the thing that I think can be improved on, that you can learn over the course of time as you play more games and you start paying attention to the smaller things while you're in a game. Because, listen, when you just get in there and you're starting your first few games, first year or whatever in the NFL, game's going fast, man. Game's going really fast. And when you see quarterbacks take that next step is when the game slows down, right? And everything becomes a little bit slower and you're used to that speed a little bit. You're playing preseason games. That is not the same as a regular season NFL game by any stretch. So it's a nice little warm-up, but it's not the same speed. So you may play well in preseason, and then when it's going for real, all of a sudden you're having issues because the game is moving super fast. So just like that, this here is a situation where I think can be coached up, right? Don't you? I think this is going to be coached up, and you can start to avoid some of those throws maybe that he's made in the first couple of years.
You can coach it up, but also, again, to this point in his career, he has tendencies that are built up, and it's kind of hard to take those tendencies away from guys. So the way you go about that is by changing the scheme and changing the playbook, which is what Matt LaFleur does best. He knows how to read the room, see what type of players are in his room, and give them the best possibility to succeed with the talents that they're already showing.
Bo Melton, cornerback Bo Melton. All over a read option keeper by Malik Willis. Bo Melton follows up with a pass breakup and perfect coverage on Savion Williams, the third rounder out of TCU over the middle. Bo showing up, Andy Herman says. You're laughing. I'm giving you eyes. I know you're laughing. There might be something here, man. I'm just saying. We won't know until we get into preseason games to get a little bit better of an idea, or even the inter-squad scrimmages. That you'll really kind of feel out for the first time you practice against another team, because that's a lot of times where you have the ones really kind of going more so than any other time. So that at least is good for the time being. 2-minute drills, 2s on offense versus 1s on defense. Tie game, 2 minutes left. 1 time out. Willis throws ball tip. Carrington Valentine with a pick and return for a touchdown.
All right.
Again, we don't want to overreact to some of this stuff, but when you're looking at certain guys that you're like, okay, we need him to take the next step this year. He needs to be more of a playmaker this year. You see something like that, even though it's against the second stringers, whatever for Valentine, that still is something to build on. As McCarthy would say, stacking successes. By the way, did you see the video posted on Jair Alexander for the Ravens?
I haven't yet, no.
I saw it yesterday. He looks pretty damn quick, man. It was just a drill. He was just doing a drill. But the change of motion, the back pedal, like everything looked smooth and looked quick.
Well, I mean, the question never was if he could do that still. It was more so, was he going to stay healthy and was he going to be on the field for the money you were paying him? So, yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense he looks good. He's healthy right now. Just wait till he's not.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly it. They get back on seconds, go back out there again. Same groups, mix of 1s and 2s on defense. Malik Willis still being in there. But again, it doesn't appear there were a lot of 1s out there with the offense based on this. It looks like it was a bunch of 2s out there on offense. They end up having to punt, so the defense wins that one. So that obviously is good, I guess. Now, same situation, 1s versus 1s, right? Love to Dobbs on a slant for 7, clock ticks. Love to Reed for 4, first down. Hand off to Jacobs, gain of 2 to 3, clock ticks. Love to Kraft, LVN with great pressure. Woohoo! Kraft can't come up with it, solid coverage, incomplete. Neutral zone infraction by Nate Hobbs. Hobbs atones with a huge breakup on third down, forcing the punt. Defense wins again. How much do we care about LVN getting practice or pressure when we're in shells? I would love to get on the LVN train, but anybody getting pressure in shells, I don't get as excited about as I do of an interception or a pass breakup on a corner making a read on a quarterback in training camp. In these situations, that I get excited about. Pass rush, I mean, you could talk about it. You're an offensive lineman in college. How big of a deal is it for you when you're in shells if someone beats you?
Not like too big of a deal. I mean, a lot of times in practices, especially early season practices, whether you're in shells, whether you're in full pads, doesn't really matter. The offense is trying to execute a system for the most part, and it's a lot harder for the offensive side of the ball to just go out there and play football. You need more of a plan set up on the offense in order to have any kind of success. For defense, it's a lot easier to just go out there and play. So you're not really thinking too much of the system. Yes, there's a big system going in on defense, so you're still learning plays, but in moments like this, I think it's more so the offense probably taking time to figure out how to work a certain type of pass set, because in the NFL you have tons of different pass sets that they're working on, and the defense is really just kind of going, you know what, rush the passer, work your moves. That's all you really have to focus on. You don't have to focus on a system at this point, or the system is go left or go right for some of these guys on the defensive line. So yes, I get excited about Van Ness because I want him to succeed. I think this is a guy that I felt like could have a breakout season. I expect like 7 sacks this year from him. So if he can continue to do this, that's really exciting. At the same time, it's the second day of practice in shells where the defense just has a natural advantage overall. Doesn't really matter that much.
Couple of other notes, because we're not going to do all the play-by-play from Andy Herman, but a couple of other notes. Number one, Golden had a muff punt. I'm not sure if that's a big deal or not. I'll be honest. If Golden is going to be one of your top 3 receivers, I don't want him returning punts. Like, McCole Hardman can return punts for all I care. But I don't want Golden out there returning punts if he's going to be one of your guys. He looked good on the offense as far as getting open and stretching the field and doing that stuff on offense today based on everything we see from Andy Herman. The other note is, and maybe you can look it up and see if there's an update, Banks got hurt today. Aaron Banks, their free agent signing that they brought over to play left guard. And it said Banks had come up to the sideline grimacing right before that. Banks then was limping and not doing offensive line drills. Then did put his helmet back on, so we'll see if he goes back in. But I don't see anywhere on here where Aaron Banks comes back in as far as the Andy Herman play-by-play goes here. So I wonder where we're at with Aaron Banks if there was an injury update. If not, I'm sure we will get one probably tomorrow from Matt LaFleur if there wasn't an injury update today on Aaron Banks. So hopefully nothing too serious. At least he didn't end up on a cart, right? That's when you know you're in trouble. When they say getting carted off, Charlie, then you know it's going to be a long-term injury. But if he's on the field with helmet on watching, that's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, Jets fans were not very pleased with the news that they got today. But
it wasn't that big of a deal.
He still gets carted off the field, and that still scares you. That still makes you hold your breath a little bit. That's still a play for a mobile quarterback that you don't want to see. That's the type of stuff that scares you as a franchise. I mean, Aaron Banks, him getting hurt, yes, you don't want to see that, but from the sounds of it, it doesn't seem that bad. The last update was about 3 hours ago, just saying Travis Glover replaced him. Other than that, we haven't heard anything. Hopefully it's not awful.
Yeah, no question about it. Like some of this stuff on Willis to, or should I say on Golden. Willis to Golden short, who broke Junior's ankles, then broke Hopper's ankles, 2 sweet jukes, and a big run after the catch. That's the type of stuff we're talking about. Not only straight line speed, but being able to make people miss and go, right? And create that big play. So maybe it's a 7-yard slant, but he takes it 30, 40 yards because he makes a couple guys miss in the open field coming across the middle. That's going to be something different that we've seen. I mean, these other guys, again, Jaden Reed has that shiftiness to him. Wicks, I don't feel like has that same shiftiness to him as these other guys. I don't feel like Dobbs necessarily has that shiftiness to him either. So that's another aspect about Golden that maybe wasn't sold as much as his just how fast he is.
No, definitely not. And I think we definitely need to see it in a real game. Again, this is the second day of practice. You love to see that type of stuff, but we need to see it in real context and guys actually trying to tackle him, trying to make a play. Again, vice versa for the defense, you're not trying very hard. It's a lot harder to look good when they actually do make a completion or have a run get past the first level to make a play in practice because you're not wearing full pads. So it's kind of the opposite of the offense in that sense. You can't put too much into it.
He's Charlie Hughes and C. Sparky Fifer with you. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM on 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Up next, we'll go back to the Brewers. Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst, joins us like he does each and every Thursday at 3:20 here on The Fan.
Lined into shallow right. It's a base hit. Terang will try and score. The throw from Canzone is late. Throw back to first. Churio's back. It's 7-2. An RBI single for Churio. 3 more hits in this 6th inning.
I'm telling you, this Brewers offense was on automatic yesterday against a really, really good pitcher and Luis Castillo in that win. They go 5-1 on the West Coast trip against the Dodgers and Mariners. See Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie using other side of the glass. Highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network.
He's a former Brewers pitcher. You can hear him on his podcast, Buses, Benches, and Baseball. It's time to hear from FanDuel Sports Network Brewers analyst, Tim Dillard, as he joins Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's. Broadcasting live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
All right, he's joining us on the FanGuest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, the aforementioned Tim Dillard. Mr. Dillard, are you taking a dog for a walk, or what you got going on there? I can see you on our YouTube channel at The Fan Milwaukee. Nice trees, some nice sunshine, some clouds in the background. What's up?
Yeah, just walking. Just walking. No dog. Just walking myself, I guess.
Are you lost? Do you need
I
help?
hope- I'm crossing the street.
Okay. All right.
I'm being careful, though. Thanks
Okay,
for the
all right.
concern, though.
Yes, I don't want to have you on YouTube getting hit by a car or something. That
I
would
know,
not
that'd
be
the
good.
worst. That'd
Yes,
be the
no.
worst. That'd be evidence.
Yes, then Charlie would have to leave, try to go find you, and it could be a whole long process. Tim, I gotta say that I don't think I thought coming out of the All-Star break, going west to LA against the Dodgers and then the Mariners, that we would see this Brewers team go 5-1, and then the game they lost was a tight game that had every opportunity to win when they lose that game 1-0. A great pitching matchup there. I am surprised by how well that West Coast trip went and very happy with how it went. I'm not sure what your expectations were, but this offense picked right back up again for the most part.
I mean, I don't really have expectations other than, I'm used to watching the Brewers play good fundamental baseball, so that's what I probably just expected. But you're right. A lot of times, teams, they go into the All-Star break, and it's hard to pick up right where you left off because the All-Star break, as good as it is, you want the rest. After about 2 days, you start itching, going, all right, I feel like I'm going to be late for the field. Like, let's get this thing going. And yeah, very few times do teams come out of the All-Star break rolling again. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. They've been playing just outstanding baseball is really what it is. And I think teams are, expecting it and they're trying to prepare for it. And they're still not ready.
I want to read to you a quote from a piece in The Athletic by Ken Rosenthal, MLB insider, that has kind of blown up on social media a little bit because I tweeted it out earlier. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Rosenthal essentially is pleading with the Brewers owner to do something significant here at the deadline to give his, smallest market in Major League Baseball team a better chance to potentially go to a World Series. And he says, ask club officials about upgrading the left. Ask club officials. Are you there? Did we lose you? Where did he go? Are you back? Uh-oh. I think his Wi-Fi might be going haywire. Yeah, audio went out. All right, just give him a call. We'll give him a call, and then we'll bring him back. Not a big deal. We'll just give you a call, Tim Dillard, if you can hear me. We'll just do it on the cell phone that way. Yeah, that's what happens when you're walking around out yonder somewhere amongst the wildlife and so forth. Sometimes those Wi-Fi signals will tend to be lost. Living in Oak Creek, I feel like there are a lot of areas in Oak Creek where you tend to lose signal from time to time. Back in the day when I lived there, not where I'm at now, but I literally lived across the street from where I am now, probably 15 years ago, something like that. 15, maybe it's 20 years ago. It's been a long time. I literally would have to take my phone and put it by the front window or something in order to have the phone actually work correctly. And that was before US Cellular. There was a different carrier. But talking to everybody else in the neighborhood, they all had the same problem. We all had different carriers. And I don't know what it is with Oak Creek, but it's kind of how it goes. All right, joining us now one more time. Now on the phone, he is Tim Dillard. So, as I was saying, this Ken Rosenthal piece in The Athletic, Rosenthal said this: ask club officials, meaning the Brewers, about upgrading the left side of the infield, and they respond as if Joey Ortiz and Caleb Durbin are Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. Ask them about reinforcing the bullpen, and they sing the glories of Trevor McGill, Abner Uribe, and company. That is a paragraph from the Ken Rosenthal piece where he is pleading with Mark Attanasio, owner of this team, to make a major move and try and give this team a better chance to go to a World Series. What say you to that?
I mean, you look at third basemen across the last month, Caleb Durbin's on base percentage is the highest. I mean, what are you going to improve on? I mean, people just want to give their opinion because I guess that's the whole thing. I think I've met Ken a few times. He's a good dude. And I think most people across Brewers, social media and stuff, they're like, hey, let's make a move. Let's make a move. Because making a move seems really cool. But the team wins with who they have now. And I think that they have a really strong bond in that clubhouse. Why mess with it? I don't understand. I mean, where are you going to improve it? I think everyone's done a great job. They got some studs at the starting pitching. The left side of the infield, the defense is unbelievable. These guys are getting on base. I mean, I guess the easy thing to do is, they need another whatever. But they've won. They beat the Dodgers 6 out of 6 times. Where to improve? if you try to put somebody in there and insert the wrong person, I mean, it could disrupt the vibe.
So,
you heard Andrew Vaughn talk about it.
Yeah.
You coming over from the White Sox and what he's walking in like the greatest situation ever. And so he's like, well, I'm going to do my part, which is the right response. This team's on a roll. Just be along for the ride. So if you bring in the wrong piece, it's not going to look right. And I know it's attractive and cool and everybody wants to tweet about it and say, hey, I'm smarter than all these guys, even though I don't have the job that they do of making those decisions. So if Matt Arnold does nothing, I'm still cool with it because I think these guys are winners.
I'm not going to be cool with it. I'm not going to be happy. I want a power bat. I want a guy that's going to hit powers, that's going to give you 3-4 guys in the middle of that lineup, maybe even 5 guys, depending on who we're talking about, in the middle of that lineup that in a 1-0 game, in a playoff game, can change it with one swing of the bat versus needing a couple swings of the bat in order to get that run in. I mean, the history of the playoffs, especially in like the last 10, 12 years, it's about power hitting and starting pitching. Well, the Brewers have the starting pitching, but they clearly do not have the power hitting like some of these other teams do. And, you know, you go back and watch the Braves back in the 90s. They had Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz. They always had great starting pitching. And their offense, for whatever the reason, always kind of just never showed up in the postseason. And that's why they never got to as many World Series as probably a lot of people thought they should have. That's my fear in all of this is if you don't do anything, you get to the postseason, you get bounced, and then it's going to be like, well, maybe we should have done that. Well, maybe we should have done that. I'm almost 50 years old, Tim Dillard. I'd like to see this team before I die actually, get to and possibly win a World Series. And this is about as good of a shot as they've had in a while as far as what this front three looks like right now in this rotation.
Well, you're talking about the stuff you want the Brewers to do. I haven't checked the standings today. Are they still in first place?
They are.
And like all of baseball? Okay, so what do you want more than that? Oh, they need more than what they have. Well, they're beating everybody. Well, the playoffs, you're going to want this. It's like, here's the thing about home runs. There's a lot of teams out there that have a lot of home runs and not a lot of wins. It hasn't translated. So you look at analytics. Oh, if we hit a 3-run homer here, that's better than getting 3 hits in a row. But the downside is strikeouts. Strikeouts go through the roof. Brewers are fantastic when they limit their strikeouts. If they have 5 or fewer strikeouts, they've only lost like 2 games all year long. Like that kind of stuff. So you might get a power guy who will hit more home runs than, say, a Ortiz or a Durbin. But they're also going to strike out a ton more, and they're not going to be on base as much. And you can say, well, that's what I want. I want the home runs. Well, guess what? There's a lot of teams that have that, and they don't have wins to stack it up. So, yeah, do you want a big bat in the playoffs? Everybody does. But at the same time, they have the personnel to get those 3 hits in a row. Not every team has that. So if they're at the top right now and they're beating good teams, not sure where you're going to try to improve.
If you look at home run leaders in baseball, major league teams, the Yankees are first, then the Dodgers, then the Cubs, then the Angels. Okay, fine, they may not be a playoff team. The D-backs, they as well may not be. Seattle is right there. The Mets are 8th. Boston's 9th. Tigers are 10th. Those are your top 10 teams in home runs. The Brewers are 25th out of 30th. Around them, the Rockies are 22nd. The Giants, the Brewers, the Marlins, the Padres, the White Sox, the Royals, and the Pirates down at the bottom half of the league, which makes it all more impressive that the Brewers are doing what they're doing without having that tremendous amount of power. But again, the concern still, in my opinion, still lies there. Let's talk about the bullpen quickly. Are you happy with where you are with the bullpen, or is there any concern about maybe overusing guys the way they've been using them? I feel like Uribe pitches every day at this point.
Well, I think Uribe walks in the clubhouse and says, I want to pitch today.
Sure.
And I think he does that every single day. And he's done an outstanding job. Him, McGill, Koenig's thrown a ton. He's coming around. He's been good lately.
Yep.
I know Mears did give up that home run, but Mears has been lights out. I mean, these guys have been good. They've all scuffled, but you can't point to many relievers across baseball that haven't scuffled.
Agreed.
Right? Like that you're just, so where are you going to, you can't really go and find anybody. Like, why? You have the personnel. And who knows what happens with, with the stuff we don't know, like the innings. If the innings go up for, Woodruff or Mizorowski, does that mean they go to the bullpen? Or, do you bring Ashby or D.L. Hall as a starter? I mean, there's all this different stuff that we don't know about. But the bullpen we do know is good. They got length. A lot of teams don't have guys that can throw that many multiple innings down there. And so I think they're really good. We saw Tobias Myers. He was awesome.
I was
yesterday.
so happy.
Hadn't pitched in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's a hard thing to do. Come out, throw strikes, and throw good strikes. Velocity was up. Cutter was great. I think even threw a split finger in there. So, I mean, they have the weapons. Now it's like, but if every starter is going 6 or 7 innings, your bullpen's going to get that rest. This is what they did not have early in the season when every starter was going 4 or 5 innings. You know, now they have guys that are built up. The length is there. Woodruff's been outstanding. Peralta's going deeper into games. The Mizrowski, you know, I felt like we were robbed a little bit. Wanted to see him pitch a little more, but they got their reasons. I get it. And he'll be fine down the stretch. But it starts with the starters going deeper into ball games to allow the bullpen to get the rest. So I think they're probably more rested now than they've been all season long.
Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst. Follow him on Twitter at Dim Tillard. How much in your career has management ever asked players their opinions at this time of year as far as what y'all want? Do you not want us to do anything? Like, do those conversations ever get asked of players or the top players on the team having private conversations? Does anything like that happen or not?
I mean, you're talking about a top player on a team. I guess it's not going to be me. I've never had those conversations. I think we both know that. You know, if they want to go to Yelich and be like, Yelich, what do you think we need? I mean, to sit there and not ask for the opinion of the guys that are in the clubhouse, that have been in the clubhouse, who have experience, have playoff experience, is a detriment.
Agreed.
Like you have to ask, you know, the right guys. We can even go back and when they picked up Mark Canha a couple years ago, Yelich was one of the people that Matt Arnold said he talked to, and they were like, dude, get this guy. Because he knew him. He's like, he'll fit right in. It'll be great. And it worked out. So I think if they do plan on something, you have to do your due diligence. You can't just say, let's go get the best player and bring him in. You know, you just can't do that. It's just not going to jive all the time. And you can have the best player in the world, and you don't know how they're going to perform once they get there. But they have a good thing going now, and if there is something that needs to be updated, I think they talk to everybody. I think they talk to the guys in the clubhouse, they talk to the coaching staff, and they all try to figure out and pinpoint if we can improve this team, what single move can we make? And anything else other than that is just, it's not going to work.
I am looking forward to this home run derby after the Brewers and Marlins tomorrow afternoon. I know everybody is. What's it going to be like on TV? As far as, are you guys going to be on the field doing the broadcast? Are you going to be up in the box doing it? How's that going to look?
Yeah, I think I'm doing the umpiring, but yeah, it's going to be on TV. It's going to be on FanDuel like 20 or 30 minutes right after the game's over. So just stay tuned on that.
Yeah, I've got it recorded.
Great.
Yeah, are you going to be mic'd up?
I don't think I'm going to be mic'd up. I may have a camera. Hold on, I got a meeting with the Brewers right now.
It's all good. I'll talk to you later. All right, see you later.
I think we're talking about the home run derby, so I'll bring up what questions do I need to ask?
You need to make sure you're mic'd up. That's what I would say. Mic'd up with an earpiece so you can be involved in all of this. That would be good. And then you can hear the conversations between the guys if you're mic'd up off of your microphone. It'd be perfect.
Okay. All right. I'll bring it up.
I like it. Take care. There he is, Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports, Wisconsin Brewers analyst. Follow him on Twitter at Dim Taylor, joining us on the fan guest hotline. Powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Right? You like that idea? Having him mic'd up?
I think so.
I mean, I would assume they're micing up a lot of these guys. I mean, realistically, you would like all of them mic'd up. Maybe they don't have that many mics to be able to pull that off, but you'd like to at least get Braun mic'd up, Fielder mic'd up. Yeah, those are the two most important ones. And then after that, whatever you have left, Dillard definitely has to be mic'd up because he's funny and is somebody to keep everybody loose. They all love Dillard. So having him down there with the interactions and stuff, like, I think that would be really
I mean, what else would he be doing as a home run derby umpire? What do you do but just stand there and watch guys hit home runs?
I think you've got to determine foul or fair on close balls.
I guess, but
that has to be part of it, right?
That can't happen often enough, you know? In a home run derby.
We had a tie in that stadium in an all-star game.
You got a point there. You're right about that, Sparky.
Never, ever, ever question whether or not something that probably won't happen of happening at some point in the history.
Well, then it only happens once.
We had another team throw a no-hitter in our park when we weren't playing there.
That's one of my dad's favorite baseball moments of all time. Carlos Zambrano.
Yeah, I know. I remember. So that happened. How many other teams can say that's happened in their park? None. It's again, tell me, it probably won't happen. I'm telling you, it could very well come down to a Dillard call of who wins the home run derby.
If that actually happens, Sparky, I'll buy you Wendy's for a week.
Done. So, I'm in. I'll take that. I don't have to pay you anything if it doesn't happen.
It has to come down to that, though. It can't just happen.
Yes.
It has to come down to it. Okay.
Yes, then there's controversy. Everybody mad at Dillard because he screwed Braun or something. That'd be amazing.
All right.
Charlie Sounds of the Day is coming up next. But first, speaking of Wendy's, you love Taki Fuego chips? Listen up, because you've never had them like this. Wendy's new Taki Fuego meals are here. Sammy has the Taki Fuego chip intensity you love piled up on one of their fan favorite spicy chicken sandwiches with Taki Fuego chips, chili lime sauce, and creamy corn spread. The small Fuego fries get tossed in an intense chili lime seasoning. It's almost like this meal couldn't take any more Taki Fuego chip intensity. That's where the extra 1 ounce bag of Taki Fuego chips on the side comes in. Well, while supplies last. You can grab this Taki Fuego meal at Wendy's, open midnight or later, limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, streaming on the Odyssey app, streaming on YouTube, at The Fan Milwaukee. Use that ad symbol, at The Fan Milwaukee. Like us, follow us, subscribe, all those things you do on YouTube, do it for us as well. Check out the shorts, check out all the different videos, each and every day posting new stuff. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. See Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie using other side of the glass. You can always listen to us, right? On the AM dial on 1250, the FM dial with 105.7. You could stream us on the Odyssey app. If you miss anything, you want to go back and listen to the podcast version, we're wherever you download your favorite podcast, Odyssey, iHeart app. That's right, the fans on the iHeart app now. Tune in, Apple, wherever you are, we're there with you as well. YouTube, yeah, we're there too now. At the Fan Milwaukee. Use that ad symbol, at the Fan Milwaukee. Subscribe, like, follow, all those things they do on YouTube, right? Is that those things they do on YouTube?
Share, like, and subscribe.
Share.
What people say, yeah.
You gonna share?
Yeah, like share to your friends, so everybody else
Really?
can see. Yeah.
Never shared anything on YouTube. Well, yeah, so share like Charlie says.
I'm surprised you know what YouTube is, Sparky.
Well, I had to because I used to do the Kurt and Long podcast and the Green and Growing podcast, so I had to put stuff into YouTube and edit and all that other stuff back in the day when we had no local radio shows on this station. Then we got local radio shows back, and they said, okay, we're done with you doing podcasts, so you're done. So that was the end of that.
And now we're back.
And now we're back on YouTube again doing this, which we've never done before, so also very cool. We're going to get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day, but quickly here, Tommy Wirtz just sent this to me. From On3 Sports. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order relating to college sports. Trump signed an executive order on Thursday that will prohibit third-party pay-for-play payments and directs the Secretary of Labor and National Labor Relations Board to clarify that athletes are amateurs and not employees, the White House announced. The full executive order related to college sports was not released. The NCAA and Power 5 leaders have long pursued congressional action on Capitol Hill, most recently with the introduction of the SCORE Act in the House. The executive order prohibits the third-party pay-for-play payments, but, quote, does not apply to legitimate fair market value compensation that a third party provides to an athlete, such as for a brand endorsement, end quote, according to the White House's release. It is unknown what entity will have the authority to enforce the prohibition of third-party pay-for-pay payments included in Trump's executive order. What say you?
That's interesting. It doesn't really sound like that's changing too much as just kind of the language surrounding NIL and what all this means. I think the fact that these players are going to go from employees to amateurs, which is what I really think they should have been in the long run. I don't really know if they were ever considered true employees at any point during any of this. But I guess that also gives power back to the schools like I've talked about before. That's really what this feels like, is this whole entire past couple weeks that the president has been involved in these situations has been about getting the power back to the school. And what this does is change the language in order to do that without actually changing too much of what's happening. Because if the players can still get those brand deals, if the schools can still get the funding from the third parties and then give it to the players in a form of some kind of like donation, I mean, you're not
it says
really
you can
changing
still do endorsements.
Right, you're not really changing
so
that
you could
much.
say you could still say Charlie used it here for Ford, blah blah blah. You could still do that.
It's not really changing that much. It's just changing the language from the sounds of it.
That's my thought exactly. So we'll see how, because they don't even have it yet. Nobody has it to actually see what it actually says. This is just what's being reported as it's breaking. So we'll get you updated on that as we know more.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on The Fan.
I'll say this much. I promise you that tomorrow on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, brought to you by Verizon, they will be talking about what we just talked about with the President Trump executive order. Because nobody has talked more about NIL and college sports than that show. Like, constantly are talking about it. So I promise you that Mason Crosby, Mitch Thunder Nellis, and Tommy Wirtz will definitely be talking more about that tomorrow from 9 to 11 here on The Fan. All right, Charlie, top 3 clips. What do you got?
All right, first up, we're going to head over to NFL Live on ESPN, where Louis Riddick was on the show discussing the drama in Dallas. If you guys have not heard, Jerry Jones went onto his opening season press conference and threw some shade at guys like Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott. Yesterday, Dak Prescott and Trevon Diggs went and had their press conference with the media and discussed the comments that Jerry Jones had about them and then also the injury status of both those players. Louis Riddick wanted to discuss the whole situation in general. maybe click on this instead.
From a pure football standpoint, like, this is just dumb. Like, this whole thing just feels so dumb and unnecessary and manufactured. Like, let me ask you this. Who talks about the fact that, well, you know what, made the quarterback the highest paid player in the league, and what happened? He went out there and got hurt. Like, Dak tried to get hurt. Like, it's football. Of course there are risks associated. Like, why are you even bringing that up as a way to kind of like say, hey, look, these are some of the reasons why I kind of like maybe keep my cash, in my pocket when I have to pay these guys because I'm worried about them getting hurt. Well, no kidding. It happens. So that means that now you're using that, in the same time when you're really talking about Micah and people are asking you, why haven't you struck a long-term deal with him? And why is one of the most explosive, game-changing players in the league, who plays one of the most impactful positions in the league, literally having a press conference with reporters on the field talking about the fact that if they don't want me here, if this is the end, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, what is that? Like, why is that even why are we talking about this with Micah Parsons? Only because the owner has created this kind of situation, which leads me to believe this. For a guy who has won Super Bowls already, is that really what your number one priority is? Because all the other teams that are winning Super Bowls now, they don't do this. And I don't remember this kind of thing happening back in the days when Jimmy Johnson and Michael Irvin and the guys were there. I just don't remember this kind of thing. So I don't get any of this.
Come on.
None of it makes sense.
Come on. You just don't want to say it. I'll say it. I don't care. He's old, man. He's old. Bengals owner is old. 10 years ago, Jerry Jones in his, early 70s doesn't say crap like this. Jerry Jones in his 60s doesn't say crap like this. Jerry Jones is old. He's 82, man. The Packers have a thing where you got to be out at 70. Now, they don't have an owner, but they have it in their rules, their bylaws, that at 70, the president has to scoot over and somebody else has to take over, right? You get aged out. So Murphy is getting aged out. That big meeting, by the way, is tomorrow, the stockholder share meeting. We'll get to hear from Ed Policy finally. But Policy now takes over. Then when he gets to be 70, in 16 years or whatever, it's going to be 14 years, then somebody else will have to take over. Do you think the NFL would ever consider making that a rule for owners as well? That at a certain age, you have to either turn over power to your kids, turn over power to somebody else, sell the franchise, that at a certain age, we are not going to allow you to continue to run the organization moving forward. Is that something you think at some point that should be considered?
No. Based on a report yesterday of how much money the Green Bay Packers got from the NFL.
A ton of money!
According to
$430-some million.
Yeah, and they speculated that that's about what every team is getting from the NFL. So about $14.3 billion is what the NFL is just handing to their franchise right now, which means they're making a lot more than that too. No, I think as long as the owners, especially the older owners, are the ones that are in control of the money, they're going to feed to them hand and foot everything that they want. That's what it comes down to. It's never going to be the NFL going to be the righteous side of this thing, man.
At some point, your thought process and so forth changes dramatically as you reach certain ages. I don't think the same way as I did when I was in my 20s. I mean, somewhat I do, but not necessarily the same. Then you have kids and a family. Then you definitely change the way you think, and you become a different person, right? You continue to evolve as you go. Jerry Jones does not say this dumb crap when he has Jimmy Johnson as his head coach. And let's be clear, Jimmy Johnson won those championships. With all due respect to the guy that owns the team, Jimmy Johnson won those championships. Yeah, they won one after he left. They did, right? Barry Switzer. But those were all Jimmy's guys. And then after that, done. Haven't been done nothing since. And probably don't expect them to do anything of significance in any time close in the next, 5 years or whatever else. Ryan Horvath was on the other day from BetMGM tonight. He likes the Cowboys. No chance. There's no chance I'm getting on that bandwagon. Next clip.
All right, next up here, we're going to head over to MLB Now on the MLB Network, where Rob Parker of Fox Sports Radio was talking with Brian Kenny about the Milwaukee Brewers, and he doesn't know if the Brewers are for real.
Brewers are for real now, Rob. Are they the best team in baseball?
No. You know what? I'm going to say this. I know how good they are on their winning streak, but the Milwaukee Brewers are MLB dead to me, BK. And what I mean is nothing they do during the regular season means anything to me. Their postseason record and what they've done year after year has been abysmal. They've lost 11 of their last 13 postseason games. I don't care about the Brewers until they win a first-round series or advance in the play. I don't care.
Rob, you see, Rob's in a hotel room right now. He's watching Texas and Oakland. You're hardcore. You actually watch the games. Do you actually watch Brewers games? Because take a look at them. We have some numbers for you. Just I don't overwhelm you with numbers. I know you don't believe in them anyway. But they play defense, right? They beat good teams. By the way, they've got the best record in baseball against teams with winning records. And if you're wondering, well, they'll never beat the Dodgers. They do nothing but beat the Dodgers. They're 6-0 against them. So explain that to me.
No, they're a good team. I get it. And they were a good team last year. They're a good team the year before. They've been a good team. And no matter who comes or goes, somehow the Brewers are good. My only point, BK, is at some point, you got to win a postseason series. At some point.
You know who we said that about? You know who we said that about? The Nationals in 2019. Remember how abysmal they were? They couldn't win a single game. The Blue Jays also can't win a single game. It's going to be different this year, Rob. Let me give you a heads up. It's going to be different. All right.
First of all, I would appreciate Brian Kenny, who we had on this show already earlier this year during the baseball season. We can get him on again. I appreciate Brian Kenny taking up for the Brewers. I do. But Rob Parker's right, man. I mean, we're being honest. I don't know if I'd call him MLB dead, but you could call the Bucks NBA dead for certain because they can't get out the damn first round since they won a championship. So you can have the same take on them as you do on the Brewers. The difference is their star player in Milwaukee doesn't get hurt every year like it does for the Bucks. So that's not exactly the same thing. If Giannis was ever to stay healthy in the postseason more than once, then Lillard ended up hurt, they'd probably be in a better situation, probably have more success. Either way, from the Brewers' perspective, he's right. Go to the playoffs every year, get beat right away, and go home. He's absolutely right. The difference is the front of this rotation and the back end of this pen right now are probably as good as it gets. Yes, you had Burns, Woodruff, and Peralta. I get it. But you didn't have this Peralta at this point. And Mizorowski, how unhittable that kid is better. Even though Corbin Burns won a Cy Young, he is better right now than anything they've ever had at the front end of this rotation as far as getting dudes out regularly and they can't hit them. That's at a whole different level right now. And Woodruff, we don't know what that's going to look like by the time the playoffs get here. But so far, so good. His pitchability looks really good to me at this point. And the back of that pen, you got 3-4 guys now on a consistent basis you can run out there. And I get Jared Kenning does still scare me a little bit. But those other guys you feel good with. Uribe's proven himself. McGill's proven himself. Mears, for the most part, has proven himself. You still have Ashby and DL Hall. Like, that bullpen, top to bottom, is pretty solid, right? All of that. It just comes back to whether or not you can score enough runs. And that, I don't know. But to Kenny's point, if you think the Dodgers are the best team, they beat them 6-6. Like, don't come at me with the Dodgers. The Cubs, we don't know. We'll have the Cubs again coming up on Monday. We'll see what that looks like. So maybe the Cubs will be their kryptonite, and maybe that's what stops the Brewers from making a run in the playoffs. We'll see.
All right, and last up here, we're going to hear from Brewers manager Pat Murphy, who was joining the show podcast, with New York Post podcast with John Heyman, discussing the Brewers doing the little things and what their secret sauce is.
You talk to other players, teams, whatever, they always say the Brewers do the little things. Big teams don't do the little things. I'm not going to name names, but how do you get them to do the little things? It seems like nobody does them better than you guys.
I don't think we do them that good, to be honest. I wish we did them better. I think we put an emphasis on it, and I have to look to my staff. They're baseball guys. What I mean by that is they're guys that value, the technique, and they value the mindset of a player. A lot of them played themselves and knew how they had to survive in the game and what they wish that they had done more of. I mean, I think it's just a matter of buying into the philosophy that you're going to win pitches, and everybody does. We don't have any secret sauce, guys. We really don't. We don't have a secret sauce. It's just, like you said, we value 90 feet. We value a lot of things but other teams can do it in a heartbeat. Maybe
maybe I wear our guys out. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, we're having fun doing it.
He's really good at what he does. Obviously, I'm not going to agree with everything, but he's really, really good at what he does, man. He just is. And again, dropping a bunt down. You see all these teams they play. You don't see guys dropping bunts down like the Brewers drop bunts down. Being aggressive on the base paths, taking the extra base, pressing the issue. Something, again, a lot of teams simply do not do. They just don't. And part of the reason they have to be so aggressive, we talked about it last year, was because they don't have enough power to drive the offense otherwise. So you have to be aggressive on the base paths. You have to figure out a way to score runs. If he had the Dodgers lineup, would he have to play the offense the same way? No, he would not. Would he? I don't know. But offensively, you wouldn't have to play it the same way. They're running quite a bit in Chicago, I think. I don't know where they are stolen base-wise among the NL rankings go, but the Traders got them running, but they got a bunch of power too. We've been calling that offense a softball offense all summer. So again, same type of deal. Do you have to play with the same reckless abandon sometimes that the Brewers play with? No, not if you know your offense can score runs, but when you question whether or not you got enough to get this thing done, you have to do different stuff. You have to play differently than everybody else to surprise them, shock them, be smarter than them in order to score runs.
The Milwaukee Brewers are second in the National League in stolen bases behind the Chicago Cubs by 118 to 117.
Exactly. So Counsell and Murphy doing the same type of stuff, right? Pushing the envelope. Do the Cubs need to do that? No. But they know that puts pressure on the pitcher, puts pressure on the catcher, and changes essentially the games if you're super aggressive on the base paths. And that has been the key to both teams probably.
Another interesting stat, the Brewers are leading the league in caught stealing as well, though. 38 caught stealings. The Cubs are down at 16, tied for 15 with 21 caught stealings.
So you're saying the Brewers are the worst?
Yep.
Worst, right. Yeah. And again, that's going to happen. When you're as aggressive as they are, that is definitely going to happen without question. Coming up next, Green and Gold Update. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur straight ahead here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.